phosphorus cycle. I'm sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm looking a little crazy and everything, but the phosphorus cycle is essential for life. It is a biochemical cycle, which means that it is a pathway by which a chemical substance is moved through abiotic to biotic or biotic to abiotic, meaning living to non-living or non-living to living compartments of Earth. Phosphorus is found in rocks, and it is in the lithosphere. So it is not in the atmosphere. It does not come. It's not. You can't breathe it in. Things like that. You can't find it in the air. It is strictly found in rocks, sediment, things like that. Now, the ways that it is transferred throughout Earth in the different compartments is in 4 steps. Now, step 1 is weathering, and that is when, let's say, the phosphorus is in those rocks, it starts to rain. Now, the rain, over time, will break down those rocks, and eventually those rocks will release phosphorus. Now, that phosphorus will run off into water, and it will also be absorbed into the sand, dirt, whatever. And then plants will absorb that through their roots, and animals are able to eat the plants, and they are also able to drink the water. Now, the second step was what exactly I just explained. So they're absorbing it, and in terms now they're receiving it. So the third step is decomposition. Now, with decomposition, when that plant dies or that animal dies, they then release that phosphorus back into the ground or runoff, or animals feed on them, things like that, etc. Bacteria does usually use that and grow off of it, and then that will die. Now, the fourth step is sediments, and that is when it is returned back into a rock, back into the sediment. Now, the same process occurs in the ocean, besides there's not weathering. It runs off, the phosphorus runs off into the ocean, and then it cycles through, it goes into the sediment, and it is absorbed then by the plants, and so on and so forth through the food chain. Now, what role do humans play? Humans have a big impact. We use fertilizer, which contains high amounts of phosphorus. Now, the fertilizer causes our grass to grow, our crops to grow nice, little house plants, things like that. But when there is an excess amount of phosphorus and there is a runoff, it creates algae blooms. An algae bloom is when there is too much algae. It grows on the top of the water, creating almost like a lid over top of it. It doesn't allow for sunlight to reach the marine animals and plants that are living in that water, and it doesn't allow for oxygen. So then the plants and animals die, or the algae dies, and it releases a toxic chemical, which then kills everything living. We need phosphorus because it is important for the production of ATP, which is fuel for cells, so very important. And it is also found in DNA, which is the makeup of us, so also very important. So without it, we in terms would honestly not be here. So yeah, phosphorus runs through just as like the nitrogen cycle, but is a nutrient, and it is found only in rocks. It is not found in the atmosphere. So it is found in the lithosphere. We are 1% phosphorus, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in terms of DNA and things like that, ends up being a lot. So that is why the phosphorus cycle is important.